Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Neil. I'm being vegan, and today we're talking about we're talking with Philippine, who's a, holistic healer that has uh, dedicated her life to empower women. And what we're talking about is how we do whole body healing. And she went through a whole body healing, healed her whole body from all these 28 years of chronic illnesses. So that's what we're going to talk about. And let's get into it. Hi, and welcome. There's Philippine. And today we're welcoming Philippine. We're talking about today is how Philippine has mastered the healing techniques like emotional freedom and hair tissue mineral analysis and shamanic healing. Uh, Today, we're talking about her incredible journey, 28 years of chronic illness, and how she healed her body. So, welcome, Philippine. Welcome to the channel. Chronic illness, and how she healed her body. So, welcome, Philippine. Welcome to the channel. So, tell us, Philippine, you're on how a little bit about your chronic issues that you had to go through, and what you had to deal with. How a little bit about your
Sure,
chronic
thank you.
issues that you
Just
had
to
to
make
go through,
sure, can you hear my voice like in the bar or is it fine? Because I can hear your voice like, in echo many times.
yeah, it's I think headphones would be better for next time. I'm not sure because probably my echo from the stream is echoing through your. Oh yeah, that's better. Hey, maybe we should do that. Muting the mic. Okay, that works. Yeah, that's better. But when you talk, I'll mute myself. So you can unmute. But
Okay,
when you talk, I'll mute myself.
okay, yes, please, thank you.
So you can unmute.
Okay,
Okay.
so can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, please, thank you.
All right.
Good. So,
Okay. Can you hear me? I hear you perfectly fine.
good. So thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, especially because I used to be vegan and I stopped to heal my body. So it's really interesting to see how we can use different diets to actually heal our body at cellular level. So, what about me? So, my journey with my physical health issues. So, I actually grew up in India. I spent my first 3 years there and I faced death already 2 times. And so my young body was actually being hurt by parasites, and so I vomited. And it created a lot of bleeding as well. And so I think it was really like this really start of my health issues. And then as a kid, I was kind of overweight and I really struggled to lose weight. And also got eczema, high cholesterol, hormonal imbalances. And then when I turned 15, I began losing my hair a lot and it lasted basically a decade. And it took me 10 years to understand it was linked with my gut. And it was obviously like overlooked by conventional medicine. And on top of this, I developed many other struggles such as PCOS. And then, so it was a bit of everything such as bloating, insomnia, nightmares, food intolerances. And then over time, I even developed histamine intolerance. And it's actually when I really started to throw myself into gut healing protocol that actually it got worse. I got really, like, yeah, things got spiraled downwards. And then I discovered functional medicine and he was a bit getting better, but I was really feeling I reached a plateau. And then last year in summer 2023, I went for a yoga retreat. And instead of healing, I actually got myself being stuck with anxiety and feeling really overwhelmed. And I ended up at the hospital feeling I couldn't drink, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. My nervous system was really stuck. And I then worked again with my functional doctor who is based in US. Her name in Instagram is the organic dietitian. And she understood I was experiencing mold toxicity. And from that moment, I understood, yes, I needed to really detoxify from it to really heal my gut.
Right. All right. That sounds good. So at the time you were vegan when all that was going down? You're plant based?
Yeah, so growing up in the countryside, I was really fortunate to have my mom who always prioritized organic, locally sourced foods. And so all my meals were around fresh vegetables, organic vegetables from local farmers. And so my diet was naturally gravitating around fruits, veggies, grains, legumes. And I was not a strict vegetarian at that moment because when I was dining out, I would still eat sometimes fish and meat, but it would be really occasionally. It's also because I never liked the taste of meat, and also I some point in my life I lived in Canada, and the meat and the fish looked just horrendous compared to France. And so I basically stopped even like eating eggs and cheese because it was really like not good in terms of taste, and for, for my health I knew it wouldn't be beneficial neither. So at that moment I was eating plant-based, and I thought it was really the healthiest way for my body, and for my mind as well. As way for my body.
Oh, okay. So so it's not like you were like totally vegan. It's just that you had an aversion. You just didn't like eating meat. And when you're in Canada, the quality of food then became an issue where it didn't look good to you to eat, so you just didn't eat it. You're in Canada, the quality of food then became an issue where it didn't look good to you to eat, so you just didn't eat it.
Yeah, it was really, I was really concerned by the color and the texture, which really looked totally different. And that's why I really stopped at that moment. And then I moved to Italy after Canada, and I was eating again, like sometimes like eggs and cheese. But again, really, it was really like during the weekend sometimes, and yeah, otherwise just like really plant based.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Like the food in Europe is far superior than the food that we get here in North America. It seems that in Europe, there's a lot more nutrition to the food there.
Yeah, I think it's also because of the land, even though I know if you don't take like organic food, anyway, it's gonna be full of pesticides and so on. But the regulations, in terms of agriculture is so much more stringent in EU compared to North America. And so also, for example, online, I can see so many people creating reels and videos around, yeah, I can't eat any gluten back to US. I will feel so sick. And then I will go to Italy. I will be eating gluten the whole week, and I wouldn't be bloated at all. And it's not because of the fact is like holidays. It's definitely because of the quality of the food, which is totally different.
Huh. Yeah, that's what I've been saying on my channel a lot. It's like it's not so much what you eat, like what type of foods, like as far as meat or vegetarian or vegan or whatever. It's the quality of food that you get, where it's sourced is important. That you can get into really good healing just from getting good proper nutrition. That you can get into really good healing just from getting good proper nutrition.
Um, yeah, I will say I disagree with this because I experienced um, the the difference between plant-based when your gut is really ravaged. So my body is still toxic, but way less. I have more toxicity. I'm healing. It's a long process, especially because I only moved out from my flat, my house, like 3 months ago now. And so I couldn't really heal from mold because I was still exposed. I thought the hair filter would be enough, but it was not the case. You really need to remove yourself from the toxic environment. So obviously, my whole digestive system was impacted and impeded by this, and I really got a leaky gut. And to be able to detoxify and to heal your leaky gut, you need to make sure you get meat. So for many different reasons. The first reason it's for the detoxification support. So you have two phases for the liver detoxification. And in the liver, like the phase two in the liver detoxification, you need it's essential amino acids like glycine, taurine, glutamine, and they're much more dense and bioavailable when you take from animal products. And then also you will need to get glutathione and some vitamin B's, such as the vitamin B6 and B12 and folate that you will find only in animal products. Then the second piece is really about supporting your gallbladder. If the bile flow is not correct, you're not going to be able to detoxify from heavy metals and from the parasites and mold and so on. And to get your gallbladder functions, you need to have high saturated fats, and the best is definitely from animal products. Also, you need to get some choline, and this is found in eggs and liver as well, and this is crucial for the bile production. And so, yeah, so then if you don't have those nutrients for your gallbladder, it's going to be sluggish, and then you're going to keep a high level of toxicity in your body. Then the third element with the plant-based that you don't have when you eat animal products. So you have a lot of anti-nutrients in for the plant food. So the first one, it's the oxalate. So it's found in spinach, beets, nuts, and it's gonna bind with the calcium, and then it's going to create crystals, and so it's going to hinder the absorption of calcium, and it can also lead to some stones in your kidney. Then you get lectins that you find in grains and legumes, and it's going to damage the gut lining because it's going to stick to atoms of sugar, and so then it's going to increase your leaky gut if you already struggle with intestinal permeability. And then you get the phytates that you can find as well in grains and legumes, and they're gonna hinder the absorption of almost all minerals. And so they're gonna compete with especially the potassium, magnesium, and so I've also done so throughout my healing journey. I've also completed a lot of certification trying to heal my body, and I've done the HTMA, which stands for Hair Tissue Mineral Analysis. And minerals are the first main component you need to reincorporate in your body if you want to heal, because without the minerals, no process will be able to be completed in your body. including the assimilation of vitamins. Like vitamins are important, but minerals are first, the top priority. And then the last thing, which is super important, and we don't talk about it quite a lot in terms of animal products. When you eat meat, especially red meat, it's gonna increase the acidity of your stomach by increasing the stomach acid production. And by reducing your red meat consumption, you're gonna higher the pH of the stomach. So if the stomach acid level drops, the pH is gonna rise, and then you're not gonna digest the food as much. So it's gonna become like undigested, and then it's gonna lead to bloating, and also it's gonna increase the overgrowth of candida, because normally candida would be eliminated through high acidic environment. And it's the same for infections with pathogens, parasites, and normally they would be eliminated, yeah, by the low pH. So it's so important to keep a high, like your stomach acid high, which makes your pH low, and then also is gonna lead to absorbing B12, iron, calcium, zinc. And without zinc, if you're deficient in zinc, you're not gonna produce enough stomach acid. So then you just enter into this vicious loop where your body needs more minerals to be able to produce all the enzymes and the acids to be able to digest. And so, yeah, because also the gallbladder will function based on how much acid you're gonna get in your stomach. And for me, I've seen how crazy it is, how it's connected, because I also got the H. pylori, and H. pylori is gonna block entirely your stomach producing acid. And I didn't take the antibiotics. I took plants for nearly three weeks. And after the 3 weeks, I managed to get rid of it. And I've seen how my gallbladder was finally capable of working. And for almost a year, I was so frustrated. I was so annoyed because I was doing everything I could to get my liver functioning and my gallbladder, and it was not functioning because my stomach acid was actually too high. So yeah, so this is
So,
like the main
yeah.
reasons why I couldn't eating plant-based diets. I truly needed to get red meat, especially, back into my diet.
So you're saying is that through the vegetables that you're eating, you need to get your well from you need to get your acid level in your stomach higher, so that'll help with the bile production. That will then help flush out and detoxify the liver. So that'll help with the bile production. That will then help flush out and detoxify the liver.
Yeah, so you need to make sure your stomach acid is good enough. So meaning like the pH is low. And so in this way, they will send these signals to create the enzyme to get your gallbladder opening so the bile will flow.
Okay, because I got into I'm a big proponent of gut health too, and I get around all that mineralization and obtaining vitamins from fermentation. So this is fermented water. This is kefir water that I start drinking, and ever since then, it's actually helped my gut. And I ferment all my foods, vegetables. So instead of cooking them, I ferment them, and then that I then I from what I understand is that it releases all the minerals and the vitamins into releases it from the plants, because as humans we can't actually get to the vitamins and the minerals from our gut bacteria. So by changing our gut bacteria, especially for me as a vegan, that I need to change my gut bacteria so that then it can process the uh, the vegetables. To change my gut bacteria so that then it can process the, uh, the vegetables. To change my gut bacteria so that then it can
Yes,
process
so the fermented food will be like a really good way to not only reintroduce natural probiotics, but also to stimulate your stomach acid.
Yeah, so because all my foods then that I add, like the fermented foods, they're all they're all high in acid, and they also have the good bacteria that I need to actually produce the neurotransmitters and the vitamins and the minerals that I need to get from the food that you. So basically, what I'm doing is similar to what you're doing, but going about it a different way. So what you're saying is that you don't have to ferment your food when you're eating a carnivore diet because naturally your body is going to produce high acid and flush out your liver by eating meat. Would that be a good synopsis? Synopsis.
I think the amino acids would be still missing for the detox for the phase two. So it's when you basically switch the toxins from fat to water. And because you do have amino acids in plants, but the bioavailability is so much less and is not as dense. And another element also is when you have a leaky gut, eating fibers, it's just gonna add more fuel on the fire because it's gonna irritate even more your gut cleaning. And this is has been for me like a big piece of almost stopping for like a month entirely all fibers so I can rest and give the capability, the time for my gut to heal. And then I will slowly, gradually introduce again some fibers. And when you have a plant-based diet, you have fibers almost for like all food. If you want to get like protein, so protein would be like the main element healing your body, your gut especially. If you want to get pure protein, the only way is to get animal product. You wouldn't have any carbs and fiber in meat and fish. If you want to get the protein from plants, it's gonna be full of carbs and fibers, and this is not well processed in a gut which is ravaged and really leaky. And yeah, my gut was extremely ravaged from the mold and all the protocol I've been trying. Because also, like for nearly 2 years, I was just following the typical functional doctor's recommendation, which was around elimination and then healing and then reintroducing. So, like for years, I was just like taking full of natural um, antibiotics and like to kill the SIBO and eliminate the SIBO and candida overgrowth and so on. So taking basically oregano, for example, like for months, I destroyed even more my gut by killing off all the like destroying all my natural microbiota. Um, so you have to be careful about this synergy with the fibers and how leaky and inflamed is your gut.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Um, One of the big things that I've also looked into because now I'm working out more, that I was not getting the same amount of protein as I was getting when I was eating meat. Because when you eat meat, the viability of protein is right there. It's so easy to get. There's so much protein in meat. So I had to compensate that by adding in uh, pea protein powder, which has all the amino acids that I need, and only 100 grams of it would actually get 77 grams of protein, and they get all the amino acids according to the literature that I've seen, just from pea protein. So I've been adding now pea protein to all my meals. To one, step up my protein intake because that's going to be low because I'm working out. I need more protein. And then two, I need all the bioavailability of all the amino acids for growth. And so I've looked into that. What do you think about that?
I think it's all a matter of like listening your body, and this is where it's really important to make sure you know to listen your body and you get access to your intuition as well. So like I know for leaky gut, I will not recommend to any of my clients to keep a plant-based diet. So I would just say give it a try and see how you feel, and then switch to meat again and see how you're gonna feel with this diet, almost eliminating fibers and getting all your protein and so on. So it really depends. It depends where you are in your healing journey. But the most important is really, do you know your body? Do you know to listen to your body? Do you know to communicate with your body? And so what I do is I teach how to do energy testing that you can call as well muscle testing if you want. So you can use your own hands and see, you ask yes and no, yes or no questions, and then you will see like what your body needs. So I do this as well for for the identification, sorry, of all root causes, and also like the supplements, healing modalities, which are required for the healing journey of any client. Because also like the self-testing can be quite challenging on ourselves because sometimes the ego will interfere and it's gonna judge, it's gonna cloud our judgment. And that's why I always recommend to people to work with a practitioner so you can remain neutral. um, and especially at the beginning of your journey, if you don't have a strong connection to your body and your intuition, is quite hard to know what to do. And sometimes it's hard as well to understand how to use. So I do the energy testing using a pendulum, and I will ask yes or no question. And I will say, for example, can I eat tomatoes? Can I eat this? Could I eat this? And then I will get my body answering yes or no, this is good for my healing. It took me quite a lot of time to know how to use that tool correctly. And I think it's something everyone should know, because nobody else is gonna tell you how to heal your own body. You are the only one knowing what will be required. And so yeah, so it's really the recommendation I have, like take the food you want to eat in one hand and take the pendulum on the other hand and ask, is it appropriate, safe for my body, mind and spirit to eat that food at that moment?
Yeah, I've said that too before on my own healing journey. Is that I started listening to my body when my body said, when every time I ate meat, I would get into pain, I would get into gout, I would get into all these other ailments. And then I slowly started figuring it out. Like it took me 2 years to figure out that I have to cut out meat, dairy, and all these other products that are for animals. It's exactly what you're saying. You have to listen to your body. Your body is telling you exactly what it needs. So listen to it. If it happens to be meat, so be it. That's what it is. I mean, there's nothing against meat, especially where you source it from. We already talked about that. Sourcing it is really important as far as nutrition value goes. And if you having problems digesting fiber, then that means your gut biome, from what I'm understanding, is different from mine. So you're going to start off eating meat to help produce that. And then there's other things to the carnivore diet that I understand too, right? It's like bone broth, and you're not just eating just plain meat. You're also adding quality fats, right? Like avocados, yogurt, which you get probiotics from yogurt too. So that's what I understand from the carnivore diet. So yeah, it's really important exactly where you source all your foods from, and it's important to listen to what your body is saying. And I said that too, 100%. So, okay, so we already got that. So yeah, we talked about the gut health and and you're addressing it from a different perspective than what I did. So I'm a big proponent of fermented foods, but you're saying you don't have to go that route in order to get good, healthy biome in your body. You can go in just straight in eating meat, and that will help change to a healthy biome. Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, so what's the question exactly for?
So what I was saying is that
What's the question?
in order to get a good, healthy biome, healthy microbiome in your gut, you can jump. You don't have to jump straight into eating plants, thinking that's the only source to get it. So what you're saying is that you can start off eating meat, and as long as but it's not only just meat; it's animal products, right? So you can change your gut biome not only through plants through fiber, but also through eating meat and animal products.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to heal my gallbladder and detoxify eating plants, and it was just not for me. It just didn't work at all. And also because the another thing which is life changing for healing your gut and allowing your gallbladder to detoxify is the bone broth or meat stock, depending on your issues with the histamine. And it was a big challenge because my gut was so inflamed for years that I have developed intolerance to histamine. So I couldn't take any fermented food. Even now, I still struggle. So I need to be really slow, making sure my intestine will be healed before having some more high histaminic food. And also another main thing for the the gallbladder is the blood sugar. If you have hypoglycemia, so I used to have huge crises of low blood sugar because my body was extremely stressed because of the mold. When you have high cortisol level, it can be also because you have huge stressors in your body. It's not only created from your food, but then if your like cortisol is extremely high, it will drop, and then you will get hypoglycemia, and then it will create basically a strong inflammatory reaction into your gut, and on the back of this is gonna create inflammation into your gallbladder, and then your gallbladder will be inflamed, and then the bile wouldn't flow really well neither. So this is a really big piece as well to make sure to have your balance between fat, protein, and carbs, which is healthy for you. Again, because for many people will be different. So measuring your blood sugar 30 minutes, 2 hours after your meal to see if it's stable or not. And then you will allow your bile flow. Otherwise, it's going to be really inflamed and it's going to hinder your detoxification.
Yeah. So for you, the your gut was so inflamed from the mold that even if you were to go into straight into fermented foods, that would cause a lot of irritation for you, and that would actually make you sicker.
Yeah, histamine is not something that we should recommend for people at the beginning of their journey when they are really inflamed, because histamine is basically the same chemical which will be released when you have inflammation. So at the beginning, you actually want to reduce your histamine level. So I really don't recommend. And there's many people who say like, oh yeah, I've been trying to incorporate fermented food to heal my gut, and I found myself really bloated and in pain and having like feeling really anxious and having eczema and so on. And it's because of this reason.
Huh. That's so cool. Okay. All right. So then, yeah. So basically, to um, to sum it all up here, is that you don't have to go in. So by first of all, you have to listen to your body, right? You have to listen to what your body is saying, and if what your body is saying is don't eat plants, and then don't eat plants. There's lots of ways to get to the same result, depending on the how advanced your gut inflammation is, right? So then by adding in stuff or taking away stuff that's causing the issue, and then slowly adding in things that don't make you unwell. But for you, the what you're saying is what I understand, you need to detoxify the liver. And from that, you need to have good bile production. And bile is only produced when there's fat and acid present in the stomach. Is that right?
Yes, but this is just one piece of the puzzle. If it was only about what you eat, it will be easy to heal. Um, so, yeah, I'm gonna explain a bit of like everything I had to do to heal. Keep in mind, I'm a shaman, and so my health journey was actually my initiation. So, I got crazy symptoms, I got crazy things to do, I got miracles because also it was part of my initiation, my journey to become a shaman and developing all my psychic gifts. So first of all, covering the physical health, because you have 4 sections in your health that you need to tackle when you want to heal. The first one is the physical. The second one is the mental. The third one is emotional. And the last piece is spiritual. So you need to work on each level at different moments because you can't do everything at the same time. But you need to respect some orders. So physical health. First of all, as I say, the most important is really understanding what you can't and what you can eat, because without the proper nutrients, you're not going to be able to heal. Your body will need the nutrients, the protein, the minerals. So always make sure like first like it's local, seasonal, organic. Try to eat the rainbow. Make sure you have healthy blood sugar level. Try to get broth so you can heal your leaky gut and taking care of your gut. Fermented food is recommended at each meal if you can. If you can't, that's fine. It's gonna get better over time, but it's always like you have to start really slowly and really see how your body is gonna react. Then your minerals, super important. As I said, without minerals, no process will function. I studied for a year minerals because it's actually a big science, because you're gonna get like some cofactors, you have like some minerals which will like bind with others. So it's not about, oh, I have a deficiency in magnesium, let's take some magnesium. It doesn't work like this. And it's a mind, body, spirit approach. So you need to make sure you work with someone, but you definitely need to get your sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, the four main minerals, being at proper level. If they are not in a healthy level, nothing, any like minerals you will take on top of this will be absorbed by your cells. Then you need to make sure you will help your body to detoxify. So I'm a big fan of castor oil pack. You can do like gentle massage. You have also infrared sauna. But again, like you have to go really slow. Like if you go for 30 minutes right away, you're likely to have crazy strong detox symptoms and you don't want to overwhelm your body even more. It's always like the key rule is like slow and steady, especially when it comes to toxins. I will lose tremendous, even now, tremendous amount of hair if I get to a detox in a too fast manner. Otherwise, my body would just be overwhelmed by the amount of mycotoxins because it's extremely toxic. Then you have to make sure you're going to stimulate your vagus nerve. Is your vagus nerve is not stimulated, sorry, nothing that you do is going to work out because you're not going to digest the food. So you need to have like, practices like yoga, singing, breath work to call back your power to your nervous system and vagus nerve to make sure it will function. So, like before eating, make sure you sit down, you do some breath work, belly breath work, so you can send the signals. And one big piece as well is your mitochondria. And so you need to make sure you will support your body by having natural sunlight getting into your eyes within the hour you wake up. If it's like winter time or it's like cloudy, you can have sun, like small lights mimicking the sun. And then it's also about like limiting blue light exposure during the evening, resting a lot, which is different from sleeping, and then going to bed by 10 p.m. maximum, because between 10 p.m. and midnight, this is where your body is gonna rejuvenate the most. So this has been the key practices for me, which has been crucial and made a huge difference in terms of healing my body. But then still, it wasn't really working because I didn't address correctly my mental health and emotional health. The mental health would be especially for self-limiting belief. If you have the belief you can't heal, you're broken, which is really likely to have and easy to have when you have been sick for years and you have been working with many doctors who couldn't find what you have, then you need to clean this self-limiting belief. So I do EFT for this, or somatic practices where I would like feel the belief and then release it and then include, rewire with new positive belief. In the mental health, you also have everything around identity. Do you see yourself as being someone healthy, someone who can heal, someone who can be vibrant? Or do you want to stick to your old identity with someone who is negative and sick and only bad stuff are going to happen to you? Then it's also linked to the secondary gain. So it's basically when you have benefits from your bad current situation. So you're sick, you want to heal, but at the end, by being sick, you get so much more attention from people. So your subconscious actually doesn't want to heal, because if you heal, you're likely to lose like the love and support you're receiving from your family and other people. So you need to address this to make sure your subconscious is totally safe and feel fine to move forward. And then it's also linked with adapting a growth mindset. Growth mindset will be when you see challenge as an opportunity for growth and also a pathway to become your authentic self. And so even for me, when I have like some symptoms flare up, coming up, I'm like, I will sit with myself and my body and ask, what can I learn from it? Is it maybe listening more my body, maybe like try to, slowing down and making sure I try not to heal too quickly, or is it like maybe stressed? I'm into big transition moment in my life right now, and even though I feel relaxed, I know my subconscious is really scared. So it's really about like understanding how can you grow from the bad like symptoms that might arise as well. Then we also have the emotional health. So, do you have repressed emotions, and especially for the gut? So, you will have frustration, anger, impatience, which will be linked with the liver and the gallbladder. And if you don't clean them, especially if you're Roman, like we can't be angry, we can't be frustrated, we have to be the nice little girls. When I discovered EFT and shamanic healing, and I was also doing somatic practices to release years of repressed anger, I was able to see for the first time in my life the bile being released in my stool. I was like, oh my God, my gut is functioning. And it was because it's such like a big energetic knot around your gut and your liver. And repressed emotions, we don't feel them until release them. It's so easy to say, I'm fine, it doesn't work, it's not there, like it's not there is no link with my emotions. But yes, it is. And emotions are not produced in our brain, they're produced into our bodies. Like each organ will be responsible for creating and releasing a specific emotions. We don't want to be at war against the emotions. We want to be able to make love to them, like embrace each of them, feel them, release them, so they're not gonna impact your current physical body. And then in the emotional health, you will get like many different topics to tackle, especially from your family. We all have some mother and father roots at different level because we come from generations where it was normal to have the parents working a lot, and in the past, to make sure we wouldn't have trauma, we would live in community, so we wouldn't have only one mom or one dad. We would have like different dad, different mom taking care of us and fulfilling our needs, when our biological mom wouldn't be here and she would be like taking care of herself, which is normal. um, and one big thing about like emotional health as well is like the feeling of I'm not good enough as well. And this is like a big emotion that you need to release to make sure you can heal. And yes, so for the emotional health, the somatic practices are super powerful, but always set the intention before about the emotions you want to release. Otherwise, it's not going to work properly. And then the last piece, the spiritual health. I got into shamanism almost 2 years ago, and it's because when I was receiving a Reiki healing, I got the message from the healer that I got a poison being stuck in my solar plexus, and that's why my gut was not functioning. So in shamanism, there are so many different tools which are incredible, and I I tried so many different modalities in terms of energy and spirituality, and I've never found any similar modality. And you can have a lot of energies being stuck from past life, and it's even like emotional buildup in any piece of your body. And in shamanism, we're gonna remove them. And once I did this um, retrieval for the poison, I was vomiting for 3 days. And it was the first time I was doing shamanic healing. And again, I was like, oh my God, it's true. It works. Like my body is really showing me signs of purge. And then, yeah, and then it's like understanding, okay, you have all these like spiritual things happening in your body, and and it's also about like the past generations and the past lives. And it can also be with cords when you're too attached to even your past identity. Sometimes you need to really cut the cords. Even it can be around your karma. So my health issues were definitely a karma, and I had to cut the cords, like the karmic cords, to make sure my body would be totally ready and safe to finally heal. And another big thing as well, that shamanic healing is totally different and can really be life changing for your health. When we experienced some trauma, our auric field will get some holes, and then it will be easy for spirits to get attached. And when we lose a close one, sometimes they will try to protect us. And they will do so by attaching to where we got our trauma. And then we will get the spirits of the person who passed away recently. But this is really not good for our energy, and this will like avoid you to heal. And so we do what we called compassionate deposition, is when we're gonna detach the spirit, but with a lot of love, and explain to the spirits the person is safe, and you have a lot of people and friends are waiting for you on the other side of the light, and it's important for you to keep going on your soul journey so you can rest. And I got actually quite a lot of clients having the spirit from the mother or the grandmother being attached to the solar plexus or the sacral chakra. And after completing the ceremony, after 1 2 weeks, they will see incredible improvements, because before the energy was just stuck by the spirit being present, even though they want to actually help you, but it doesn't make you a favor. So yeah, so this is like the spiritual health. And yes, you can try to heal your body through physical interventions, as I mentioned at the beginning. But if you don't have those pieces around the mental, emotional, and spiritual health, whatever you eat, whatever you do, is not gonna work. So you just need to identify what needs to be released, and then what to prioritize, and then you can move forward.
Yeah, incredible. That's a lot of information. So, but very important. I totally agree with all that. Mind, body, and spirit. That's what we're all talking about. Um, so there's nothing left for any of us to say right now, but want to thank Philippine for coming in and explaining all this out to us, and how we can heal our mind, body, and spirit, and our bodies, uh, to become the better version of yourself. And that's really what we're talking about. So, Philippine, I want to thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And yeah, any final words that you want to say to everybody?
My pleasure. Thank you to you. Yes, I think it's really about my last recommendation is really first of all, connect with your body, embrace each aspect of your body, mind, and soul. If you struggle with health issues, know you're not broken. And it also means usually it's because you're more sensitive, and it's actually a gift, it's not a burden. It's easy to believe that when we're sensitive and we react to everything around us, it's a burden, but it's going to be your biggest gift to share to people. And when something doesn't work, keep exploring what you haven't tried. Be curious, remain curious, and always treat the root causes, not the symptoms. And also, what I found is at the end of the day, the main goal of our journey is to love ourselves unconditionally and forgive the people who hurt us, and stop giving our power away to others. And remember, we are our own healer, and we are the people being magical and powerful. We just need to remember.
Yeah, incredible. So in the description below, there's the link to you can get in touch with Philippine if you want to start your healing journey. Uh, so instead of thinking or just focusing just on the physical, there's more to it than just that, as Philippine has pointed out. So in the link below, click that and then get in touch with Philippine because she's going to heal you. Yeah. Thanks again, Philippine. We'll see you later.